So I already filmed this review once, but I forgot to wear my Santa hat. So we're doing it again.
I'm Groot.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special was written and directed by James Gunn, returning to the MCU for the first time in a long time. And this special was actually filmed during Guardians 3. Fun fact. And this is yet another one of those holiday specials that Marvel decided to do a couple months ago with Werewolf by Night, and I loved that. And the fact that James Gunn was doing this one brought me so much excitement, and I have been hyped for this since it was announced, really. And don't worry if you have not seen it yet. I'm starting out non-spoiler, and I will get into spoilers at the very end, but most of this review, it's just going to be non-spoilers, so all of you can watch it. In this 44-minute special, yes, it sounds short, but trust me, it's not. The Guardians want to cheer Star-Lord up. They want to bring Christmas to him because he really doesn't get Christmas anymore. And so they decide they're going to throw him a little celebration, and Mantis and Drax decide to venture to Earth to go get him a really special Christmas present in the form of Kevin Bacon. What I like about this special is that it puts Mantis and Drax in the forefront. Their dynamic was one of my favorite parts of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and we just get to see more of that here. Now, even if you're someone who's not a big fan of the humor and what they do with those two in Volume 2, trust me, it really works here, and I think people might actually appreciate what happened in Volume 2 more after they see them in this. And this is without doubt the best Mantis has ever been. She's clearly the star of this. Mantis is very much so the lead. And she totally received some combat training after fighting Thanos, because there's a scene in this where she gets to bust out some moves that I was not expecting. And Kevin Bacon, he's in this, he's playing himself. And there was actually more Kevin Bacon than I thought there would be. It was like the sweetest treat of this special is how much Kevin Bacon there was. He is just as much a main character as Mantis and Drax. Mantis, Drax, and Kevin Bacon, they're really like the trio. They're the trinity of this whole special. And yes, the other Guardians are here. You've got Star-Lord, Nebula, Rocket, Groot, Cosmo the Space Dog's introduced, and you have Kraglin. But it's not a Guardian team-up. They are all side characters, and yes, they're important. Kraglin actually brings some of the emotional beat to it. There's some great stuff between Rocket and Nebula, and Star-Lord obviously is such an important factor of this whole special, but it's not Guardians 2.5. It's just the Guardians Holiday Special. But I will say Groot had the cutest moment, which I'll talk about in spoilers. James Gunn is a master at meshing comedy and drama together in a way that just creates a wonderful emotional ball, and that's no different here. This special is legitimately emotional. Not emotional like the Guardians movies, and it's emotional in a different way. It's very happy and wholesome and just pure and uplifting, and it brought a tear to my eye as it closed out. But there were also some amazing moments of humor. There were some great laugh out loud moments. There's this one part where a group of people who have no clue what Christmas is sing Star-Lord a song about Christmas, and they're getting all these things wrong, and Star-Lord's just slowly going insane over the course of this entire musical number. Drax and Mantis go on an Earth side quest in this special, and Drax and Mantis have their little quest on Earth, and they didn't get to explore Earth in Endgame, so they do here, and there's all these funny things like, what happens when these two people who have no clue how Earth operates have to come down to Earth? At one point, Mantis sees a Captain America cosplayer, thinks it's actually Captain America. Drax sees someone dressed up as someone who may have been a former adversary. There's so many funny things in this little fish out of water thing they go on. But the special's important. There is for sure connections to Guardians 3 in this. It sets up stuff. It introduces characters. It establishes and adds things to the lore that will for sure come back into play. But it not only establishes stuff for the future, it adds more to things we've already seen. Going back and watching Guardians 1 and 2 after watching this special, there are for sure going to be more... There's going to be moments that are more powerful now upon rewatches, having seen some of the plants they put in this. And the ending is easily, without question, one of my favorite Marvel endings. And yeah, I teared up. Even though we've seen them in Infinity War, Endgame, and Love and Thunder, and to a lesser extent, I Am Groot, it really felt like it has been a while since we've seen the Guardians, and that's because it's the first time since Volume 2 that the entire gang has been back together. We had all the Guardians, well, except Gamora, but we had the Guardians as they are now, and we had James Gunn back at the helm, and you can feel him all over this thing, and you can feel the passion all of these people have for working together and for these characters, and it truly felt like the Guardians of the Galaxy were back, and that, beyond everything else, is my biggest positive with this special. And the songs! How could I forget to talk about the soundtrack? James Gunn is a master of music, and he crafted, yet again, another album. I don't know if they're going to call it Awesome Christmas Mix or Awesome Mix Volume Christmas. I don't know. But I need it because every single track in here is great. Christmas Time Is Here is, like, stuck in my head forever now. So from beginning to end, this special was such a treat. I can't wait to watch it again. Everyone go watch it and then watch it again. It is an absolute delight. And yep, the Guardians are bringing Christmas. Christmas time is here. All right, let's talk spoilers. So if you have not seen it, please leave, because I'm going to spoil some stuff for you. But yes, so in 3, 2, 1... Mantis and Star-Lord are siblings. Now, this is something you actually would have learned a couple days ago when they put out the Marvel Legends episode, and for some reason put in a moment when Drax says that Mantis is Star-Lord's sister. But if you're lucky enough to not get that spoiled for you, then let me know if this came as a surprise, because I sure knew about it. So it's pretty clear Ego kept Mantis around because Mantis could help him sleep, which is something he couldn't do anymore. So he figured she'd be useful. And this is the moment I say made me tear up when Mantis says it and Peter says, "Mantis, that's the best Christmas gift I could have ever asked for." And they hug and then the camera pans out and everyone's celebrating. Yeah, I cried like a little bitch. So I'm wondering how that's going to factor into Volume 3, because there's no way they would do it if it's not going to be important. And it's so cool because think about what Peter's lost, right? He lost his mom, he lost his adopted dad, both because of his biological dad, and then he lost the woman he loved, but he finds out he has a sister, so he has that connection again. I think that was beautiful. And the entirety of the gift-giving sequence cracked me up. So Star-Lord gives Groot a Game Boy. And the cute moment I was referring to that I loved was Groot does little hops throughout it in excitement. He's in the background dancing to the songs. He's jumping to get Peter's attention. And when he opens the Game Boy, he has a little hop of joy. And I smiled. I loved Groot in this. Is he CGI or practical? Because James Gunn said he's CGI, but that looked a lot like a suit. I'm sorry. So, I don't know. But Groot's growing up. He's getting beefy. He's growing up. Then Groot got everyone a diorama of kind of the adventure throughout the holiday special. And that had to be like the most heartfelt gift, because how much time do you think he had to put into each and every single one of those dioramas? Kraglin's was my favorite because it was a diorama of Kraglin opening his diorama of Kraglin. He's just laughing. And then Cosmo, who's here because they bought Nowhere from the Collector, confirming the Collector's alive. So now they have Nowhere as their home base, and Cosmo was on Nowhere, so now Cosmo the Space Dog is a part of the team. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cosmo's a boy in the comic, right? I could be wrong. I thought he was. But it's a she here. So now she's part of the team. And Cosmo gets Kraglin a dead animal that she put a bow on. I would have cleaned it and cooked it if I was Kraglin. He's definitely been filthier. And then, of course, Mantis got Star-Lord a sister. Oh yeah, and Mantis got Drax the inflatable elf that he left at Kevin Bacon's house, which was one of the funniest moments is when Mantis says, would you rather give Peter a really good Christmas because Yondu ruined it for him, or would you rather have the elf? And he's like, the elf. And yeah, Yondu in this. So there's animated sections. There's animated sections of this special, which are the flashbacks to young Peter, and Yondu basically ruins Christmas for him, or so Kraglin says, and he throws the tree away and destroys the gifts, and he makes him do all that, and then at the very end, he opens what he saw in the trash can, what Peter had gotten him, and it's one of those little dolls he keeps, and then Yondu gives Peter his 2 guns, which makes this shot much more sad. And Mantis can kick ass. When she was fighting those police officers and she was doing like the thing where she like gets on their shoulders and then spins around and flips them, amazing visual I just did. That was great. She uses her powers really creatively. She incorporates the candy cane into her combat, and when she was leaping around Kevin Bacon's house, that was terrifying. And the post-credit scene was something else. Rocket and Cosmo are decorating Groot like a Christmas tree. He gets pissed, ruins it. And Rocket looks right to the camera and says, well, I guess we have to have another special. And Kevin Bacon said, I'll see you at Easter when Kraglin was taking him home. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Easter special? But there you guys go. That is my review for the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. What did you think of the special as well as my review? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. This is going to be it. Have a great day, guys.